Welcome to Creepin' It Real. I am Judah. We have a special guest this week. I'll get to him in a second. But behind the camera, as always, is the magnificent welding machine himself, Gabe.
Whoop whoop.
Gabe, I've seen you out back welding recently. What's going on there?
We're building a camper. Building a little camper for our K trucks.
It's not for our homemade horror movie that we're going to make.
No.
Which
I know,
actually,
you
somewhat,
wish.
do I? It somewhat fits into the movie we're actually going to watch today, which starts off with some people trying to get out there and commune with nature, and nature wants to commune back in a way.
Yeah, not for me.
Okay, next to me is Brandon, our special guest.
Hello, everybody.
Brandon is my nephew. He helped me film a short film about 8 years ago called A Minor Setback that is based off of the Ameritrash board game called Zombicide.
That was really fun.
And Brandon was one of the zombies.
Number 3, I think it was.
Is that what we have?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Zombie number 3.
Zombie number 3.
Yeah.
Also, I remember, you're involved with like acting and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that made sense to me to have somebody on here that is kind of into that. But also, when he was a kid, I remember his dad showing me a photo of you used Crayola markers to make like a scar, a cut on your arm.
Okay.
And he showed me this photo, and I was just blown away. I was like, this kid's got freaking talent.
That's all, yeah.
It was like he did that with Crayola markers?
I vaguely remember that, yeah. And I've done it since with other things as well. I think I have a picture on Facebook of like my whole face where I got beat up. Yeah, just bruises and everything.
It was amazing, guys. I was just like, whoa. I was like, this kid's got talent. Woo. Anyway, so I thought he would be perfect to get in here and have him review a movie with me. Now, are you a horror movie fan?
Oh, God, I love horror.
Really?
Oh, so much, yeah.
Okay.
All kinds of horror.
I was not aware of that, so this is even better.
Yeah, that's actually my go-to genre if I had to.
Okay, fantastic. I asked Brandon to pick out the movie, and he picked out Splinter from 2008. Is there any particular reason why you picked out Splinter?
I saw it a long time ago. Maybe not a long time ago, but long enough ago where I couldn't remember exactly everything that happened. But I did remember watching it and thinking, "Wow, I like that because it's not super long, it's not dragged out, and it gets to the nitty gritty gore or horror like pretty quickly, which I really enjoy."
Mm-hmm. Now I got to mention, this is probably the most serious horror movie we've reviewed so far on here.
Nice.
We usually lean into the super campy stuff, which is, I just love the campy. I love, and you guys hear it, whoever watches this, you hear me say it all the time, practical effects. I love practical effects. And so the old like 80s, 90s campy horror with rubber monsters and so forth, it does my soul good. Gabe, please play the trailer for Splinter.
I think I'm gonna like camping. She looks not right.
Well, what do you want to do?
Turn it off. Get in the car.
Pull over.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
Get inside!
What was that?
Move away from the glass. It tracks us somehow.
We gotta get out of this gas station.
Wait. Stopped. I think it's gone.
Drop the gun. You're under arrest. Get in your car. There's something out there. Run!
Watch the splinters. Don't want to stick you. Here!
It's gonna get in here. It's gonna kill it. You okay?
Don't touch it, please!
There we have it. The trailer for Splinter that came out in 2008. It was directed by Toby Wilkins. And from what I read, this won 6 awards at the Scream Fest course, in 2008. It got Best Picture, Best Director, Best Editing, Best Special Effects, Best Score, and Best Makeup.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's taking it home.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like
that's
pretty
a
much
good
a
job.
clean sweep.
Yeah. Pat yourselves on the back, guys. That was
It
good.
did also get nominated for Best Horror Film from man, I can't remember. There was another festival, but it lost out to Hellboy 2,
Yeah, Golden Army.
which for me, if I was gonna go with Hellboy or Splinter, I'm gonna have to go with Hellboy. I just really like. I'm super bummed that a third one never came out.
Right.
Guillermo, and I'm a big fan of Guillermo,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I was bummed that things never went forward with Hellboy 3. But yeah, Golden Army, I would have had to pick that one over this too. Now, I always want to tell the budget, and it was difficult finding the budget listed anywhere online, but I did find a guy, Philip Ellis, on virally.com, who he says that the budget was $700,000 and that it only grossed $500,000. So it did not make its money back,
Really?
which bums me out.
Yeah, I thought it did really well. And just from some of the little searches I did, I mean, like you said, it was hard to come up with
Yeah.
a number because I came up with something that was, wildly different than that.
Really?
Yeah,
Same.
mine,
Yeah,
mine
exactly.
was like $120-something thousand. So I was like, I mean, that's pretty good for a budget.
If
for-
it was, then they would be making money. That's why when I kind of said that Philip Ellis says that that's what it was, I couldn't find any corroborating numbers
Right.
anywhere. So that's just based on what that writer at that website says. I don't know. But if it's true, I'm bummed. Okay, so knowing that you do watch horror movies, did you
Yeah.
ever watch the Terrifier movies? It's the clown.
Oh yeah. I
Is-
don't think I've actually seen like it all the way through, but
Okay.
I've seen I think bits and pieces here and there to get a good idea. Of,
Okay.
like, yeah.
It
That's
has
the white one with the.
yeah, he's got like a little black dot. on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's creepy.
So Gabe knows it
I
has
do.
become my
Yeah.
my standard. I grade everything against Terrifier because I hate that movie. I hate Terrifier. I hate Terrifier 2, and I refuse to watch the third one
He's
that's
gonna love
coming
it.
out.
He is going
I'm
to
not
love
watching it. I refuse. I'm not doing it.
That'll be
To
the next
m-
one we're gonna review.
Yeah,
Exactly,
To
yeah.
me, it's just no offense to anybody who likes it. It was just trash. It was garbage. There was no point. I didn't care. So I gauge everything against Terrifier. Knowing that Terrifier made more money than Splinter pisses me off so much because this movie is legit. Like heart and soul was put into this for what, being a horror movie.
Which usually don't do as well as other genres.
Especially being indie.
Yeah.
Which
Which is
these.
another.
I forgot to mention that the director, Toby Wilkins, he had an extensive background in editing, graphic design, and visual effects, which plays in because I read that the special effects were 100% practical.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't buy that.
There's a few bits in there that you
Yes.
can tell.
Yeah, there was some times I was like, that's definitely computer. There's no way that was practical.
Right.
But even if you were to say like 80% of it was practical, that is still amazing.
Yeah, I prefer that. I mean, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Star Wars. Come on. Like,
Yeah.
Some of that stuff is handmade.
Yeah.
It just looks better in the end.
So there's all this heart, all this soul put into this. The acting is good. I'm not saying it's like, Oscar or anything, but it's good.
Mhm.
The storyline, everybody's arc and where they start, where they end, their motivations all make sense.
Yeah.
Compared to Terrifier, which you don't care about the characters. Everything, never mind. I'm just going to get past it. I'm
We're
just
done. We're done.
angry because this movie, obviously people recognize it. It won 6 awards, but it's not being seen by anybody. You got this garbage Terrifier, freaking millions of dollars. Okay. Brandon, do you have anything special you'd like to bring up about this movie?
yeah, I've got some notes and stuff. Let me just pull that up real quick. From the get go, it got my attention. Like I said earlier, it doesn't like drag out this long
Mhm.
beginning and then gets into it. Like within the first 2 minutes, there's already stuff happening. You're already engaged.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Like questions are starting to mount. You're like, what is going on? I got to see more. And then it just keeps giving you a little bit here and there, which I really enjoy. It's it's easy to watch, to pay attention to. And if you watch it a few times, just put it on in the background if you like that kind of stuff. Your ASMR, but horror version. It's great. You can jump in at any point
you like
and
breaking
be like,
bones and so forth.
yeah, all kinds of the squelching, the chittering, all that stuff. It's great. Yeah, just peek over. Oh yeah, nice.
Exactly. You talking about you reminded me when you said it starts off kind of like Full Throttle. I did feel that the opening was a little typical. You got this gas station attendant who's sitting there, and he turns and he looks and he says, "I ain't got nothing for you." And you're assuming you could take it either way. He's talking to some kind of an animal that's begging for food, or there's some kind of a bum there. You don't entirely know.
Yeah, get in the setting, rural, some kind of country. Yeah, it could go either way.
Then he stands up and starts walking towards it, and he's all like, "What the heck?" And I'm like, who's getting close? If you're going, "What the heck?" Why are you walking
let me get
closer to it? Which it just felt very tropey the way it was filmed, whereas like or very like 50s horror-esque, where there's a monster, but they never show it to you. They do show it to you, but it just felt like it's like through the eyes of the monster watching the gas station attendant come towards it, and then he ends up getting attacked by a raccoon, which, by the way, Jasper back here. This is Brandon.
Nice. Holy cow.
So I don't know, Jasper, did you have a cameo in that, or was the cousin or something?
I was wondering, like, I was like, is it a raccoon? Is it like a honey badger, a skunk? Like the shape of it, I wasn't entirely sure, because the camera
moved very
so
fast. Yeah.
So it's like, which is part of the appeal of the monster. You don't want to just like look at it head on, because then there goes the mystery
exactly
and the scare. But
somebody online, they were like, I don't know if it's a badger or a wolverine, and I was like, I think that's a raccoon, and then I found a screenshot of just it, and I was looking at Jasper, and I'm looking at this, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely a raccoon. That's I don't know about this badger wolverine stuff, but it was definitely a raccoon. Also, speaking of the gas station attendant, he had that hat on that said, "I love bikinis,"
right?
Which I was dying laughing. And this is kind of a funny thing. Did you read that he wore that to his audition? What the heck?
Dude, sometimes your wardrobe, it can make the role, You have an idea like, hey, let me wear this funny shirt, or let me wear whatever, this, necklace or ring. Do it. It might get in the movie.
He just totally went there, being the character he was supposed to be. And they're like, this is the guy.
Right? Yeah.
He loves bikinis.
He didn't even have to try. He just came in. They're like, you got it.
But apparently it may have been a double thing, because I guess he was highly trained in mime work.
Oh, he was the mime?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
So I guess, there is a small featurette on YouTube that gives some behind the scenes, talking to Toby Wilkins, and also showing some of the practical effects, them building and putting the makeup on the creature, and also the gymnast who played him, and the gas attendant who it made it seem like sometimes he performed the different movements for the creature.
Okay.
So anyway,
pretty cool.
It was a decent little featurette, which will at some point show a slight portion of it once our conversation turns closer to that topic. But you can find that on YouTube. I mentioned at the beginning, this is pretty much the most serious horror movie we've watched so far. That does not mean it's lacking some humor.
It's sprinkled in there for sure. It's some to the point where I'm just like, it kind of took me out of it.
Okay,
in
really?
some scenes.
Okay, give me one of the. I'm wondering if it's the same one that I'm thinking of. What was one that kind of you felt brought you out of the?
I think initially when the first hand came, I felt like they were just like, yeah, okay, a little too calm about it. I'd be like, a little bit more, and immediately they didn't run away. They were
just
see
wanted
it,
to
and
check
they're
it
just
out.
like, let's poke it and observe it. Let's scooch down and look.
At least the one dude slammed that bag of
Yeah.
charcoal on top of
But
it.
then the other one, he's like, oh, take that off. I want to look at this.
it made no sense the way that he was interacting with it. He was like,
I get, because he has that biology PhD background. He's trying to study it, but it just seemed a little silly.
Yeah.
How he went about doing it. It took me out of it.
Did you feel that I wasn't totally sure if you became infected only if you were bitten, or is it just if it just gets on you? I wasn't sure, because everybody that did become infected, they had a serious wound,
Yeah,
or
it
at least
was-
the guy had it. It broke, skin.
Yeah.
Whereas the cop had stuff dripping on her at
Mhm.
first, and I was thinking, so is she infected now just because it tripped on her, or does it have to break skin? What did you
So
think?
when the cop got it on her face, it initially looked like she got some spikes in her
Oh,
cheek.
just started.
It looked
okay.
like, but then when she wiped it, it was like it was just.
There you go.
It was
That's
just wiping. So I'm like, are they just like super brittle and they just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
dissolve on contact, but enough to like get in?
yeah.
You know. But even if that wasn't what killed her, the following
Her getting ripped.
scene,
in
yeah,
half.
that I think that would do it.
totally. Okay, so what kind of was weird to me is when the one guy who got the little spike in his finger and was slowly
Dennis.
taking over Dennis, when
Yeah.
it was slowly taking him over, and when
Mhm.
he realizes I have to do something about this, I have to like cut my arm off to stop this, and he faints. And then the guy and the girl are gonna try to finish off the job with a box cutter,
Yeah.
and they get to the bone. He's like, he can get through the bone, and they grab a cinder block
Cinder
and,
block.
and just bust his arm off. But when Dennis slightly wakes up for a second, she says to him, "It's okay, we're cutting your arm off." I'm like, what?
That whole thing. I love their resourcefulness
Mm-hmm.
in the gas station. Like they think about it, which I like. They don't, and somebody else commented this when I was looking it up. They don't make the classic like dumb decisions
Yeah.
anymore. Like they actually try to be logical and smart about it. But I feel like at times it's almost too logical
Mm-hmm.
for the situation that they're in.
Thinking that the stress might make you think.
Yeah, and perhaps they get in some kind of like autopilot
Mm-hmm.
response, but there were moments when it's just like you're being too calculating, too calm.
Mm-hmm.
You are cutting this man's arm off, and you're all just like, "Yep, that's what we're doing." It's silly.
Which I'm sure at one point he was like, I should have done it when it was just the finger. You know
Yeah,
what I
he
mean?
waited so
well,
long.
He didn't know. It wasn't until his like fingers are like spontaneously bending back and breaking he's like, oh, something might not be right.
But even
here.
then, he's just like, "I'm just gonna wrap this up a little bit." Yeah, there's like moments of like super smart and
Yeah.
then super dumb.
There is. But okay, speaking of, I don't know if you put this in dumb, but I kind of died laughing when so they started throwing fireworks out the back door to
yeah.
draw the attention, because they come to the conclusion that heat draws it because they're hiding in this freezer and it seems to ignore them. So they're like, oh, must be attracted to heat. I think there's a lot of jumping to conclusions, honestly, based off of it was attracted to the engine of the car. I don't know.
Yeah,
I-
grasping for straws.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we got to come up with something here. So they're throwing these Roman candles or these sparklers outside, drawing its attention so that they can try to get to a vehicle. It suddenly loses interest in these fireworks, which kind of didn't make it was working beautifully.
Yeah, like, it was there.
And then suddenly it was just like, yeah, well, this is boring. I'm gonna walk away. But then Dennis walks out. Okay, so things happen. The monster comes to the guy who was in the car, and Dennis is like, I got to do something. So he lights a firework and he pulls a Jurassic Park. He goes out and he's like, hey, over here, you know.
Which might have been a nod to.
It might have been. I think Jurassic Park. Hey, Gabe, tell me, can you look up and see what year Jurassic Park came out in? It has to be in 98, maybe?
93.
Jurassic. Wow.
So it says, yeah.
That's insane. How old were you?
Not born. I was born in '94, so it was before my time.
Okay.
Same.
So have you seen Jurassic Park?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
you knew what I was talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't worry, the monster's visual acuity is based on movement. Anyway, it just seems so silly. That's the scene.
Yep.
Throw that up. So Dennis comes out of the gas station and he has this firework and he's waving it around, trying to attract the. Okay, you can put that away. Thanks for looking that up for me, man. So it may have been a slight nod to Jurassic Park. The director is definitely old enough to have been influenced by Jurassic Park, so
Right.
that's quite possibly it.
And in some places I was reading, he did pull inspiration from The Thing.
The Thing.
28 Days
Yeah.
Later.
I was
which
gonna-
I love 28 Days Later.
Okay. There was times when I was watching this, and I was like, this definitely has the Thing feeling. Well, the Thing, it was like it could duplicate the image or the DNA of something perfectly, almost. So there's that difference where this doesn't seem to care, but there's definitely that body horror that you were talking about kind of thing going on here, where it's gross and it's just mutating you, and it's kind of a terrifying thing.
Oh yeah.
The director, he feels, and I'm curious what your thought is. He thought it's scarier that the creature doesn't kill you. There's the fear of, oh no, this thing is going to get me and kill me. And he thinks it's more scary that it doesn't kill you. It just takes you over. Do you find that more terrifying than dying?
If you truly don't die, like if these victims are conscious the whole time.
Okay, the consciousness
that
is a big...
would be like, it would be like a sleep paralysis thing where like you can't do, but you're aware of what you're doing or what you and your conjoined
and if you're feeling
are doing.
Yeah, that's right. It conjoins. Gabe, let's show that.
That was interesting. I didn't.
Yes.
It was how it was like taking the body parts and pulling.
It was it was combining.
That
them
was an
and stuff.
interesting choice to make.
This is some artwork for the creature designs that it shows a few things, ideas, and at one point it plays quite a while, several minutes, I think, but it shows how the person actually fits inside of the puppet.
Oh yeah.
And I was
nice.
like, oh, that's really interesting. Right here, I love this. Pause this for a second if you could, Gabe.
Oh wow.
I love this. This is the creature design. And then over here, it's showing how the puppeteer would actually fit inside.
Oh, geez. That's crazy.
That would be so uncomfortable.
Oh, my gosh.
You can let it keep playing. Now, as far as creatures go, I mean, it's terrifying. If I saw that, I'd freak the heck out.
Oh, yeah. That's nightmare fuel, for sure.
But all these designs, these look so much like The Thing, especially the remake in the 2000s. There was definitely people's bodies conjoining and stuff, and it looked a lot like this kind of stuff. I read one article where some person was like saying, this movie was so great, and I'm so glad that Toby Wilkins has brought us a new franchise. And I'm like, I don't think this is going anywhere.
No, maybe a spin-off, or I think it opens up, or it ends with the possibility of a sequel, or even just like an additional expansion of that universe, which I think would be really cool, especially for all you people who like do fan films or indie films, you know.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool to kind of expand on it, and you see other locations. I really like how the majority of the film was in the gas station. Like,
yes,
it really is cool to see, kind of like how the characters are very resourceful with what is around them. It's cool to see that the directors can do the same thing with a static location.
Which, you bringing that up, that actually is kind of very Hitchcock type of the thing, where a lot of his movies, he would have just a one location, and he could do so much. He could build up so much tension, have such a great story with just the characters and their reactions and so forth. And I'm always amazed when a director and actors can come and they can give you something so great in just one location.
Yeah.
And granted, they were on the inside and the outside, and there was some like initial
some drive, but for the most part,
90% of it is just at this gas station.
Right.
Now, I have a question for you with the ending. So, what's his name again? The guy who got infected? Dennis. Okay. So Dennis, he knows they cut his arm off. He thinks he's good, but then in the end, he gets hit somewhere else, and it's kind of like, okay, that's it. I'm done for.
Yeah.
He has a shotgun. They killed the creature. It's on fire. It's burning. It's dying. You're in his situation. You know that it's over, and you are actually in the mindset where you're like, I have to end this, or this is going to continue. Are you going to take that shotgun and shoot yourself in the head, or are you going to blow up the freaking gas station?
I mean, at his vantage point, does he know? Did he see the creature drop? Because I don't remember seeing it. I just remember seeing it on fire, and then the couple kind of shuffling away, and then he was just like, all right, F it, let's do it. But I don't ever remember seeing the creature go down. So
He could have been. He's just like, I need to make sure for sure it's dead.
Yeah.
And me going out
That
along
might have
with
been
it.
his thought. I mean, because he's prone. He's like, I'm not getting up. I might as well, go out with a bang. That fits his character, I think.
I can get that. For me, he was a little too far away from those gas pumps. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, the chance of you. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna get hurt, but the chance of this actually killing you and burning you up,
Yeah.
you better pull yourself a little closer to that.
Start inchworming it, like.
So
Yeah.
anyway, let's just give our final score 1 through 10 on what we thought about this film. Why don't you go first?
I mean, I like horror and scary movies of all sorts, so I'm a little bit more giving with stuff. I would probably rate it for all intents and purposes of how long it is, the special effects, and just looking deeper into the making of the movie and the little fun facts and everything. I'd probably give it, for what it is, a 7 out of 10.
Okay, because of how goofy the movies are that we generally review, we kind of ask, what's the score on a watch alone, and is the score get a bump if you're watching it with a buddy?
Oh, okay.
So, not that's something you have to do, but is this I definitely think this is something you can sit down by yourself and enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
But there's
for sure.
definitely horror movies that are so silly that it's like you gotta watch this with a friend.
You gotta have commentary on your own. You
Yeah,
you gotta pause it and be like, "Did you just see that?"
So is this better as a watch it alone, or is this better as a buddy movie?
I would probably say better with a buddy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Now I wouldn't necessarily say that you would have to have a buddy to watch this, but
Right.
I can take your perspective on this. It could help. I did. I watched this the first time by myself. It was just something I wanted to see, and I found it in one of those top 10 horror movies that you've never heard of but should have kind of a thing.
Right.
And then I checked it out that way.
Mojo top 10 or
Yeah.
whatever.
So I definitely think it deserves a view, but yeah, watching it with a friend is great. Now, and I would still, I'm gonna fall within a 6. But if I was gonna rate this I was looking for a pair of hiking shoes or something, and I was looking up best pair of hiking shoes in 2024, and they go to these websites and they'll be like, well, this is the best for this, and this shoe is the best for that, and this shoe is the best for that. But there's always one where it's like, this is the best for your money. Okay, and for this being a low budget, $700,000, this MFR is the best movie for your money. This thing was done so well with what it had to work with, even if we don't know what the exact amount of money is.
Right.
And granted, I'm still going to give it a 6.
That's okay. I
But-
think that's okay.
And I wouldn't say that I would watch it again, but of course I did.
Right?
But
Yeah. It might just take a couple years.
yeah,
or
this
a couple,
isn't something I'm going to run back and watch again on the regular. I have a few of those.
Mm.
Gabe, you did not watch this movie.
What?
Rate
No,
it
no, I did
anyway.
not.
Rate it right now.
5.5.
Okay. That's a good.
A nice cluster. That's all right.
It seemed like a fitting number.
Yeah.
The trailer seemed pretty good. It seemed like it wasn't terrible. Yeah, 5.5.
Thanks, Gabe.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Nice range from people who really like it, and then on the way down to I didn't watch it.
So there we go. We got Gabe gives it 5.5. I give it a 6. And did you say 7.5?
7.
Or 7?
Solid
Okay.
7.
There we go.
I like that.
So it's a decent. I think based on that, you can say that it's not garbage. That it's not going to waste your time. It may not blow you away, but it's not going to waste your time.
You'll definitely take something from it.
Yeah. So that was it. That was Splinter 2008. We all thought it was a decent, okay movie. Thank you, Brandon, for joining us. This is Creeping It Real. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we will catch you later.